Sibling rivalry dominates the Mahabharata. The Kauravas versus the Pandavas, Karn versus Arjun, and many more. But can sibling rivalry lead to a life of slavery for 500 years? In the Mahabharata, there is such a story, and that's what we shall delve into today. Hello and welcome to the spiritual workshop. My name is Surjo Bhattacharjee, and in this story we shall further the tale of Kadru and Vinata. Vinata, who is the mother of Garuda. In a previous episode, we dealt with the birth of Garuda, but I shall do a really quick recap here. Daksha Prajapati had two daughters, Kadru and Vinata. Both of them were married to Rishi Kashyap. Rishi Kashyap was very happy with them and gave each of them one boon. Kadru asked for 1,000 snakes as sons, and Vinata asked for 2 sons who would be stronger than all of Kadru's 1,000 sons. They were given embryos, and after the embryos matured, the eggs were placed very carefully. After 500 years, Kadru's eggs hatched and 1,000 snakes burst forth. Vinata's eggs did not hatch. And in her misery and curiosity, she burst one of the eggs. There she sees a half-hatched embryo, half developed, half underdeveloped. And this, her son, curses her to a life of slavery. But he also says, if you let the other egg reach its maturity and then hatch, my brother who will emerge from this egg shall free you from slavery. And this half-hatched egg later became Arun, the charioteer of Surjo Dev, of the sun god. So now we come to the present day and age, and small miss, which is the second egg does hatch 500 years later and Garuda is born. So that is the tale of the birth of Garuda. Now the Samudra Manthan, not only was Amrit received and procured as a result of churning the ocean, but many other wonderful objects, gems and beings and creatures, and one of those creatures was the celestial horse Ucchaihsravas. There was a bet between the sisters Kadru and Vinata regarding Ucchaihsravas. The bet being, what is the color of Ucchaihsravas? Now, the horse, the celestial horse, this magical horse, is actually all white in color. But keep in mind, this is an era before photographs and before anything. What you heard, if you couldn't see, seeing is believing, sort of, is the credo here. They hadn't seen it yet. So they placed a bet. And Vinata said, Ucchaihsravas is all white. Kadru said, Ucchaihsravas is white with a black tail. So this is the bet they had, and the condition of the bet was whoever loses the bet shall be a slave to the winner. That is the condition, harsh condition as it was, especially among sisters, but such is the nature of sibling rivalry. Now Kadru was resolved to win the bet. She knew that Ucchaihsravas was all white, even the tail. But this is the scheme she had devised to put Vinata in slavery. She told her sons, the 1,000 snakes, that y'all basically wrap around the tail of Ucchaihsravas and make it appear black, so that I win this bet and Vinata becomes my slave. The 1,000 snakes, her sons, they refused. They said, this is not right, we shall not do it. Their mother Kadru immediately curses them and says that y'all shall burn at the snake sacrifice of King Janmajay. That is the curse she gives them. Now Brahma, who is the grandfather of Kadru and Vinata and the great grandfather of these snakes, was initially disturbed at the thought of this curse. But then he thought about it. These snakes were ever expanding. They were constantly biting people. They were constantly hurting people. They were injecting their poison into people, their venom, into people. And maybe he thought that this wasn't the worst outcome. Maybe this curse from Kadru might be helpful in the long run. So first he spoke to Rishi Kashyap and he told him that this curse has been given by your wife Kadru to your sons the snakes, but maybe it is for the better. So don't fret, it'll work itself out. Now in the meantime, the snakes, although they had initially refused, then they met and they thought, maybe it is better if we do what our mother asks us. Maybe if we do that, maybe she will be pacified and she will remove her curse. Because if we don't do that, not only has she cursed us, she might even just burn us with her ascetic prowess. So when the next day Kadru and Vinata, they traveled to the edge of the ocean and they saw the wonderful power of the ocean, but there they saw the celestial steed, the celestial horse, Ucchaihsravas, and they noticed that the tail is black. The horse is white, but the tail is black. So Kadru wins the bet, Vinata loses, and she is put to a life of slavery where she is Kadru's slave. Even when Garuda is born 500 years later, Vinata is still a slave. We shall delve into how Garuda frees his mother from slavery in the next video. But as of now, I hope you enjoyed this telling of sibling rivalry in the Adi Parva of the Mahabharata. I shall see you in the next video. Take care.